Ambulance service, how can we help?
We had a call initially, the male, that he was getting aggressive. When our officers got there, they found him in the middle of the road. He does have mental health issues.
Yeah.
Our CPN has had a look at him and she's concerned due to his behaviour he may have had a slight stroke.
7-1.
7-1, can we get you up to a query stroke for a 55-year-old?
Yeah, affirmative. Timing of symptoms uncertain.
On the way to a job that's been categorised as being a stroke, it's always in the back of your mind that this could possibly be a time-critical patient.
The police were called by a member of the public who was alarmed by the man's behaviour.
Oh, we're outside.
Are you waiting for us?
Police officers are with the patient who is sitting on the pavement and refusing to move.
What's going on?
This gentleman's had a stroke around about 6 years ago.
Righty-ho, OK.
The police had been called to this patient initially because he had actually thrown himself onto the floor into the main carriageway. So they had actually moved the patient from the road to the side of the road by the time we got there.
You're too close.
I'm not too close.
We weren't sure what was actually going on, whether he'd had a stroke or whether he'd hit his head or whether he was having a mental health crisis.
But why are you... I can't leave you alone.
Leave it.
Do you need any help?
Leave it.
Just calm down.
Leave it.
Thank
Well
you.
done.
The patient is clutching what appears to be a file of military documents and checks for any medical information that may help her treat him.
Character exemplary release office.
I wondered whether he maybe got some PTSD from previous military, because he seemed to be going back about that quite a lot. So yeah, it was really difficult.
So, you've spoken to family members then, yeah? And have they said that this is completely out of character for him to behave like this?
Fine when he left him.
Which was when?
This afternoon.
This behaviour appears to be unusual for the patient, which makes treating him all the more difficult.
The thing is,
We're not going to be able to do anything with him.
we aren't going to be able to touch him because he's going to go for us. You know, and I don't feel comfortable getting hands-on with him.
One time.
One more time, what?
You're dead, OK.
It was quite difficult for us to undertake our job with this patient. He wouldn't allow us to do any physical observations on him, but it became quite clear quite quickly that it was his mental health that needed assessing rather than his physical health.
Can we get you onto our ambulance where it's nice and warm? Yeah? Where it's nice and warm off this cold floor, and when you're on the ambulance, listen, give me a chance. Can we just get you off the floor?
No.
We aren't heavily trained in mental health, so sometimes you've got to think outside the box, think how you can, make a rapport with the patient, try and get them on side, and sometimes it can be really frustrating and take a long time.
With temperatures outside dropping, Sian and Anne need to get the patient off the street fast. But then things take a turn for the worse.
What are we doing? You're going to get cold, sweetheart. Are you going to show us something?
What are you showing
OK,
us?
he's showing us something.
Oh my gosh, you're making me call them out. What are you doing?
What do you want to show us?
You can't strip off in the road.
No.
Oh, yes.
I can see you are. I like talking to you. I think you're dead interesting.
Oh.
So we could have this conversation
In the warm.
in the warm because I am bloody freezing. My arse is numb. My feet are cold. My nose is running.
We wanted to get this patient off the street and onto the ambulance quite quickly, firstly for his dignity and respect, and secondly because he was exposed to the cold and we wanted him to come in out of the elements so as not to become more unwell.
Sian and Anne have been trying to get the patient into the ambulance for over an hour with no success. The only option left is for the police to step in.
Anne, can I have a word?
Yeah.
Police are going to pick him up and move him.
Is there anything we can reasonably say or do to get you on the bed? No. We're going to have to use force to get you on the bed.
Anne?
Yeah?
It was quite disheartening when the police had to resort in actually lifting him up off the floor and popping him onto the stretcher after we tried for so long to try and get him up ourselves. However, unfortunately, in this scenario, we didn't really have much choice.
34 stone of muscle, you are, aren't you? We'll get warm now, won't we? Oh, there you go. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Thanks.
Without the police, I dread to think how long we would have been there.
In your ear, temperature. Temperature.
We're coming at you
tickle.
everywhere. Look at me. Look at my nose.
His observations were normal when we finally did take them. However, he needed to be assessed by mental health professionals.